So in Python there is no explicit declaration of the variables, so the variables are only declared and defined when you assign them a value. For assigning a value, a simple equals to operator is used. This operator is used in most of the languages to assign any value to a variable. So let's just test it. So in order to declare a variable, you need to write its name. For example, I say fname. So this is variable, and if I try to print this is going to throw an error because there's no explicit declaration. So the memory allocation is not made against this variable. Memory allocation will only be made if we give it any value, and it will automatically detect the value, and it will automatically assign the data type. So if you can see that this is integer. So let's try to print this without assigning it a value and see what it gives. So it says the name fname is not defined. So in order to define it, you need to give it a value. Now whatever the value is, whether it's string, float, or integer, or any data type, so it will automatically detect the data type and it will assign that to the variable, and actually assigning storing value in the memory location where this fname is stored. So let's try to print this. So this is executed and this has printed the result, which is the desired result. Variables in Python and you assign them a value, the automatic declaration is made. So variables are basically the memory locations. So the value you store to a variable is actually stored in memory. So there are different data types of the variables like integer, float, string. So you don't need to give it any data type, it automatically takes the data type. So if for example I say count is 100, so this is basically integer, and I will say for example miles is equals to, so what this becomes is float. And when I give it a name, so this name is going to be a string, and I'm going to name it Micah. So this is going to be a string. So if I mouse over on it, it's going to tell me the data type of it. So I haven't declared any data type. I haven't written anywhere integer, but it's automatically taking it as integer. So if I hover here, you can see that it's showing me the floating point. So this is basically a float variable. So this automatically detects data type, and if I hover here, it will tell me that it's a string. So let's print these. I'm going to simply print count and then print miles and print name. It's really fun to code in VS Code. Simply go to debugger and run it. Let us test the data types. So Python is there, and you can see that these values are being printed here. I'm really thankful to VS Code that this tells me the data type here, but it actually doesn't happen in other editors. So if you want to know the type of the data or the variable, just simply print type. Type is a function which returns the data type or the class of the variable. So let's try to print count, and then we'll copy paste this. We'll also try to see what is the type of miles and name. So let's try to print this and see what are the results. Let me just comment this code. You can see that the count, the first one is integer, the second one is float, and third one is a string. So this is how you get to know the types